Wow, January's over. Well, it's that time again, the time where I tell you everything I watched this past month. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you've already seen what I've watched, and if you read my reviews, you got to see what I thought. Like I always say, I'm typically more articulate in my reviews and more detailed, so feel free to follow me on Letterboxd and I'll follow you back. Okay, the first thing I watched was The Night Stalker from 1972. This was an American made-for-TV horror that has to do with vampires, and Brian sent this to me on DVD, so I finally watched it. Apparently this was a pretty significant movie for its time and being made for TV and a made-for-TV horror and all that, so it was pretty interesting just to read and hear about its impact. I thought it was a very good watchable film, pretty funny and witty and just a good time. An interesting and slightly different take on a vampire, but it was a fun one. Next was The Swinging Cheerleaders from 1974, and if you watched my last video, I did go into a little more detail on that because I included it in my exploitation exploration series. But this is a 70s cheerleading movie. It's kind of like it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's so much more than a comedy. It's like a comedy drama. I don't know. It was really good. I had a fun time with this one and it was quite memorable. So it's probably one that I would watch again in the future. Next up was Truck Stop Women from 1974. Again, this made an appearance in my last video, so I won't go too much into it here, but this was like a crime trucker movie featuring Claudia Jennings, and it was fun, it was cute. It wasn't like quite as good as I was hoping, but it was a nice film. Next I watched Mondo Cane from 1962, just really trying to go in on those exploitation films so that I could do that exploitation sampler video. Mondo Cane is one that, you know, everybody talks about. I've been hearing about it probably since I watched Cannibal Holocaust in the 2000s. I'm just laughing because when you say in the 2000s, that now means a time that was long ago. Anyway, Mondo Cane was okay. It was interesting, but also boring. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, which if you're here you probably know, but it's like a very early shockumentary. So a documentary like exposing the practices of other cultures from around the world, and it's supposed to freak you out. Next up was Death Race 2000 from 1975, and I watched this so that I could review it on Rob's channel over at Exploitation Reviews. It was definitely like out of my wheelhouse, but that's what I'm trying to do, you know, with these different exploitation films. So this was a car exploitation film, probably my first. It was way different than I thought it would be. It was crazy, it was bonkers, if you will, but it was fun. And if you want to know more, I'm gonna redirect you for the like 7th time to go over to Rob's channel, Exploitation Reviews. Next, I watched a new movie. I watched Megan, the Killer Doll movie. I actually did an entire review on this one. But yeah, this is a killer doll movie, and now that I've zoomed out and tried to find more noteworthy killer doll movies, it's made me realize what a treasure this film Megan really is. It definitely is lacking in many areas, but Megan herself is the true strength of this film. She is amazing. She looks amazing, she acts amazing, she does amazing things. She is fantastic. And the film, like I said in my review, the film is just begging for a part 2, and I think a part 2 would help hold up part 1. You know what I'm saying? It needs some support. Okay, next I rewatched Fatal Frames. Oh yeah, because I got it on Blu-ray. I rewatched it and I seriously did, seeing it on Blu-ray, shed a little tear. I don't know what this movie does to me. I know it's stupid. I know, okay? But it's also so magical. Next, I made a mistake. I was gonna do something with Sweet and Spooky. We were gonna watch this movie together. And I have a problem with the word commentary, okay? When I hear the word commentary, I know in the movie world, commentary is where you're talking about it as it's happening. But in my mind, I watch like social commentary videos here on YouTube. So when I hear commentary, I think of like a discussion after the fact. Okay, so I was supposed to wait and watch this movie with Sweet and Spooky, but my dumb ass hurried to go watch it on my own so then I could talk with her about it. It was really embarrassing and kind of sad that I stole that joy from that shared experience we were supposed to have. Sorry, Celise. Anyway, that movie was Dinner with a Vampire, 1988. This is a Lamberto Bava made-for-TV horror movie, and it was part of like a little series of TV horror movies that he had set out to make back then. So the reason we were interested in Dinner with a Vampire is because it has George Hilton in it. George Hilton as a vampire. Old George Hilton as a vampire. Yeah, I had seen the picture on Google Image and I sent it to Celise and she was like, that is from Dinner with a Vampire. I've been trying to watch that. Anyway, so that's why I watched it. I might talk a little bit more about this than I've been talking about the other movies. It was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Demons. It had a very similar energy to Demons. And one of the first things I noticed is this girl. I was like, I know her. How do I know her? Who is this? Why would I know her? And when I think I recognize someone, I don't look it up immediately. I just stare at their face till I get it. This girl in this movie was in a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie in like 1998. This girl played Brigitte, the supermodel that Mary-Kate and Ashley met in Paris. My worlds are colliding. George Hilton and Mary-Kate and Ashley colliding. She was awesome. It was just so cool to see her so young. And the rest of the cast was great. Like, I don't know, this was a really good movie. This film made me realize what a really versatile actor George Hilton really is. You know, I haven't watched him in anything besides Jolly. So this was very cool. He did a great job. This movie was filmed in this castle. I forgot the name of it, but I'll put it here. It was just extravagant. Oh my God. So I wanted to find out a little bit more about this castle, so then I went down this little rabbit hole and I found this guy's YouTube video. I will also link it below, where he goes to the castle and it has since been shut down. It's abandoned. And so he doesn't go inside it, but he just goes around the outside and it's just like so magical. I don't know. It was really cool. Anyway, so the movie was lacking in some areas. There was not, I don't know. It just seemed like it was a lot of, a group of characters were running from the vampire and they just would keep running to a room in the castle and barricading themselves in there, and then the vampire would appear, and so then the group would scream and then run into another room and barricade themselves in there, and then the vampire would appear. And it just felt like that went on for a long time. However, the movie is just really charming, really cute, and it just looks really good. And like I said, it has that Demons energy. So I really liked it. And especially for George. For the George fans, you should seek this out. Next I watched Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, which I also discussed in my last video. This movie, I feel like I could recommend it to anyone. I am amazed that something from 1965 could, no offense to the 60s, but it slapped so hard. Oh my gosh. like I said in my review, am I gay now? Oh my gosh, these people are beautiful. These women are beautiful, and I don't know, you just have to watch it. I'm inarticulate. It's just the story of these badass women, like, wreaking havoc, basically. Next, I don't know, after watching Fatal Frames, I was just in this Rick Genasi mood, so I made my husband watch Mutant Hunt with me. I've already seen Mutant Hunt, which I discussed recently. This is a 1987, very low budget sci-fi. It is so bad, but like, so cute and so fun. It's one of those like so bad it's good kind of movies. Next, I went on a little Dagmar bender. So I rewatched Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion from 1970. I rewatched The Laughing Woman from 1969. And I rewatched So Young, So Lovely, So Vicious from 1975. This was my second time watching So Young, So Lovely, So Vicious. And I was just glad to see that the film was still like really effective. I don't know. The melodrama? I'm like strangely here for it. That's not usually my style, but I love it in this movie. Next, I watched Sisters of Death from 1976. I watched this because I saw Claudia Jennings was in it. And I read the like description. I saw that it was a sorority movie, a sorority horror movie, and I was like, okay, we're watching that immediately because I love sorority stuff. Right from the beginning, I was like, this looks familiar. This looks really familiar. And after about 20 minutes, I knew for sure I have tried to watch this before. And that was about 8 years ago, before I was even into movies. I remember I was at the beach and I tried watching it on my phone on YouTube while I was like getting ready to go out, and I just never finished it. So now all these years later, I have finished Sisters of Death. Okay, I have so many thoughts about this movie. If you are in Letterboxd, you should go read my review. But first of all, Claudia Jennings was great. She was great in this role, wonderful for this role. The story at its core is so good. So good. It deserved, and I don't always say this, it deserved more. It deserved a bigger budget. I don't want this story to be this low budget thing. I want this story to be made into something grand. I don't know. I think this begs for a reboot. Somebody reboot Sisters of Death. It was an excellent film, but very rough. It was unforgettable for its story, but the setting and it was just kind of like, it was low quality. It was a low quality film. I wish it would have had better. It deserved better. Next, I rewatched Baby Oopsie, okay? I watched Baby Oopsie, okay? And then I watched Baby Oopsie 2, Baby Oopsie 3, sue me! Oh God. Okay, so next, it's auto-played on Tubi after I was done with Baby Oopsie 3. The 12 Sleighs of Christmas. And I was like, okay, cool, because I saw on William Butler's Instagram that this was the latest movie he directed, 12 Sleighs of Christmas. And I was like, cool, like I'd already seen the trailer. So even though Christmas is over, I was like, let's check it out. Oh my God. Am I very disappointed that I did check this out. This wasn't a movie. I am so annoyed. Okay, listen, I hate clip shows. I don't care if it's my favorite show in the world. I'm not gonna watch the clip show episode. I'm not gonna do it. I hate that. This entire movie is a clip show of various full moon films. And as other people said in the reviews, it is a super long commercial for a line of toys that's coming out. I don't know if a line of toys is coming out, but it's all about these little, like, these 12 little figurines. And every time a girl opens one of the presents, it has a little figurine in there, and then we get to watch a flashback to whatever movie this toy is from. That was very upsetting. That was not a movie. Next, I don't know, I still was giving Full Moon some love anyway. And I checked out Subspecies from 1991. You guys will be happy. Subspecies, like everybody talks about that when it comes to Full Moon. So this is a vampire movie. And I thought it was really great. My husband watched this with me and he was truly surprised at how like serious the movie was. It was not a goofy movie, except for those finger demons. But yeah, I thought it was really beautiful, really well made. I love the premise, the setting, and I do wish that there were more vampires in the movie, but I did appreciate, again, like in The Night Stalker, I appreciate this is a bit of a different take on the vampire. And yeah, this one was really memorable and just a nice one. A good one for the vampire fans. Next, I rewatched Fulci's Enigma from 1987, just a favorite. Then I rewatched Satanic Rites of Dracula. I still want to say Dragula. Dragula? I want to say anything but Dracula. From 1973, because this one's a banger. I love it. I had this idea that I could do a video called I Watched 5 Killer Toy Movies. And, you know, we've all seen some amount of killer toy movies, but I was like, I want to deep dive into the killer toy genre, you know? And I want to come back with 5 that I watched and tell you guys about them. And I started looking around for killer toy movies. Wouldn't you know, most of them are either Hollywood, like Chucky, Annabelle, or Megan, or Full Moon, like Demonic Toys, or Baby Oopsie, or Puppet Master. So I was like, I want to find some that aren't the obvious. I want to find some that aren't Full Moon or Hollywood, the ones that everyone's heard of. Like, I want to explore and see if I can uncover some gems. Now, Adam here on YouTube did mention that Dolly Dearest from 1991 is his favorite killer doll movie. So I did find Dolly Dearest to kick off my 5 killer toy bender. Dolly Dearest was awesome. It was so cool. It was so unique. It's a killer doll movie, but it's also like an archaeology movie, and it's like a destination film set in Mexico. And the doll looks so good, and the actors were so good. Like, it was just a really well-made movie, and it was really fun. I loved Dolly Dearest, so thank you, Adam, and I'm glad I took that little recommendation, because Dolly Dearest slaps. I gave it 4.5 out of 5. I mean, that's just what I'm looking for in a killer doll movie. So I was like, okay, we're off to a good start. Let me find some more killer toy movies. So then I saw there's this one called Mandy the Haunted Doll from 2018. And I watched the trailer, and it looked kind of low budget, but I was like, let's check it out. I guess it's just been a while since I've watched something so low budget. I mean, a modern film that was this low budget. So it was really hard to warm up to. It was really rough. I think the storyline was pretty tropey. It didn't really like try anything new. It was very basic, I guess. And it had a lot of problems. It's I almost like, I don't even want to say too much about it. I don't want to linger on it. It was just very low budget, and it's hard to know if I enjoyed it or not. But I will say, I'd be in that movie. I'd be in the shittiest movie ever. Just cast me. I'll be in it. If you want to make a movie about a killer French fry and you want me to be a lead, hit me up. Next, I was like, okay, that didn't do so well, but let me keep trying. I got on Tubi. Do you hear me losing my voice? I got on Tubi and I typed in the word toy. This movie called Amityville Toy Box appeared, and I was like, oh, heck yeah. That sounds like some possessed toys that came from the Amityville house or something. So I pushed play on that one. And speaking of low budget, this one's even worse. This was some homemade stuff, man. It was ambitious in some ways, and very, very, very lacking in other ways. But let's not get into all of that. You can check out my Letterboxd review. The main point that I want to give you here is this was not about a toy. This was not a toy movie. This was not a killer toy movie. So it was false advertising. And that was very disappointing. And that's when I decided I'm abandoning my 5 killer toy movie project. I'm not doing it. Forget it. I don't have time for this. I don't know. I think maybe instead, maybe one day I'll do my top killer toy movies. Because that's all we can do. There's not much exploring to be done. There is a need in the market for more killer toy movies. Perhaps I should be the one to make one. Or you should. Let me know. Okay, let's talk about the last movie I watched, Willow Creek from 2013. I've been hearing talk about this movie for a while on Possessed by Horror's channel because she likes found footage a lot. And this is from what I knew, a Bigfoot found footage movie. And I was ready just for something scary, you know? I recently watched Exists, another Bigfoot found footage movie, and I loved it. So I was like, I think Willow Creek is probably gonna be awesome. And it definitely was. It's about this couple who goes to film a little documentary where the Patterson-Gimlin footage was filmed, and it's just kind of about their journey there and the things they're documenting. And then they set up camp when they're on the way to that site, and then a terrifying night plays out. And yeah, it was truly scary. It was really fun. It's very different from Exists. I would say Willow Creek is a little bit more well made, but Exists was a little bit more fun. I would still recommend both of them if you're into found footage and or Bigfoot. And that's it. Before I knew it, January was over. I don't think I watched any new Jolly. I meant to do that. So as always, let's have a conversation in the comments. Let me know what your favorite or least favorite thing you watched this month is, or what you think about any of the things I watched this month. If you're interested in checking anything out due to my talking about it, I don't know, let's just chat. And I will be back soon with a slightly different type of video that I think you'll like. So come back and see me. Ciao!